So I lost my partner Graham in 2014. He had a soft tissue sarcoma, which is quite rare, and he only had it for 5.5 months. They gave him about 18 to 2 years, I think, 18 months to 2 years, but sadly it was just too aggressive. So Graham and I met when I was in Grange Hill. So I was in the original cast back in the 70s, many years ago. And he was one of our directors. So I worked with him for a few years and off he went. And then he spent 30 years in the business, winning a BAFTA. Amazing jobs that he did, really successful. And it was just really strange because I'd come out of my marriage and he'd come out of a long-term relationship, and we just happened to meet in the street, and he'd been living down the road for 25 years, 10 minutes away from me. So we met, we went for lunch, and that was it. We were sort of holding hands then for sort of 8 years together. Yeah, amazing relationship we had. So it was just really difficult when he died. So I didn't know where to turn then. I sort of was really struggling because he was my best friend. He was my best friend. So we did everything together, you know, we laughed together, we just had so much fun together, you know, always holidaying, always pretending that we didn't have to work. So when he died, it was just really difficult because I'd lost the person that I turned to every day and the person who was really important to me, and it was just really, really difficult. So I went to the GP and I just said, you know, what am I supposed to do about this? So he signposted me to a big bereavement charity, and I thought they could help, but sadly they didn't have anything available in my area. So they said, go to the next one, and that wasn't any good for me either, and I had to wait. It was a big waiting list. I can't remember, something like 6 months, and I thought, no, I need to speak to someone now. So I had to pretend that I lived in another borough that I found that actually had some counselling. So I went up there, and you know, very nice, the lady was very nice, but I went for 4 sessions and I just cried through the whole thing, and it just wasn't right for me. I just couldn't see a way forward, and there wasn't any sort of way out for me. So I went back to my GP. And I said, can you help? And he said, first of all, I said I was going crazy. And he said, well, maybe take some pills, you know, calm down. And I just thought, I don't want to numb it. I know that, you know, I'm going to feel these things, but I just needed some help. And I sort of didn't know what I needed. And I went back to see a third GP, and she recommended posh tissues, which I know at the time she was trying to be really kind because I was crying so much, but I just thought, what, is that it? And it seemed as though, as I now know, they were really struggling. They didn't know who else to signpost me to. So I just Googled. I thought, well, there must be something out there. And I found an amazing charity. It's actually 20 years old this year. It supports people who have lost a partner under 50, and nobody knew about it. I went back to the GP, they didn't know about it. I went to the 2 hospitals where he was treated, they'd never heard about it, and they also didn't have any bereavement support groups, which I just thought was mad. So having now linked up with so many health professionals, I've been working with the National Council for Palliative Care for a long time. I've piggybacked one of their programmes called Building on the Best, and I've travelled around and spent time with the hospital trusts and realised the bereavement packs that they had were great, but they couldn't be kept up to date. You can't keep a piece of paper up to date with phone numbers and information. You can't have every charity around the UK in a small booklet. It had to be an online service. It had to be a central database. So that's what we've done. So we launched the Good Grief Trust this year in 2017. And we hope that it'll grow. We hope that it'll be a hub that everybody can share initiatives, the health professionals, and it's going to be run by the bereaved, because we understand that they are the people who get it. You know, we're the ones who've been through it, and we hope that we can then share our stories, that we can have people on there who have lost a child, who have lost a parent, a sibling, a friend, a colleague. Every person's grief is different. Everyone feels differently about the person that they've lost. And it doesn't matter whether it's a relative or a friend. You know, you can have that relationship with someone and it can devastate your life. And you might need support, you might not, but we want to be able to give people the choice. I never got a choice. And now we hope that the health professionals can then click a button, and in their surgeries, those GPs, and in the hospitals, the nurses don't have to spend a lot of time. They can find the help for those patients' relatives immediately. And that's what we hope will grow, that we hope the Good Grief Trust will bring people together under that one umbrella. So yeah, it's a very exciting thing for us to do, and we hope that, yeah, it's going to help a lot of people.